Hello everyone, my name is Tim Scott. I am the artistic director here at Music Theater Heritage in Kansas City. I spent this past week in New York City with MTH founder George Harder, and I wanted to share a little bit about our experience there. So we'll start with Hell's Kitchen. I was able to see Hell's Kitchen right across from Sardi's there in New York City. It's the Alicia Keys musical. It won 2 Tony Awards, one for Best Performance by an Actress in a Musical, and then Best Featured Actress in a Musical. So certainly some really electric choreography and hip-hop dancing. Some really great performances in this musical. Shoshana Bean is in the musical, Brandon Victor Dixon. They're both amazing performers, very energetic. Everyone that saw it that night certainly enjoyed it. Also saw The Outsiders. Now, The Outsiders won Best Musical Tony Award, also won Best Direction Tony Award this year. What an amazing ensemble cast. That's what I took away from The Outsiders with the performances. The complete original Broadway cast is still doing the show. We saw a Thursday matinee and these guys were fire. Other than that, the exciting things about this production are certainly the fight choreography. The reason I wanted to see the show is because I saw their performance on the Tony Awards, and if I didn't know this Rumble fight sequence was coming from seeing it on the Tony Awards, I probably would have passed out after seeing it live because it was thrilling. It's unlike anything I've seen on stage before, and it was just so exciting to watch. The barn catching on fire, of course, it catches fire in the theater. Certainly if you have strong connections to your family, if you have brothers, sisters, really impactful story, beautifully told by this cast on Broadway, and it's no surprise that it won Best Musical or Best Direction of a Musical because some of the moments within it are unlike anything I've seen on Broadway. Also saw Sunset Boulevard. Sunset Boulevard just opened a few days ago. So Sunset Boulevard, it's a revival, of course. Sunset Boulevard was on Broadway originally, maybe the 90s, I'm not 100% sure, but I know that the original production with Glenn Close was celebrated, won 8 Tony Awards. It was a very extravagant production. Of course, Sunset Boulevard adapted from the film, which is about the life of a fictional movie star, Norma Desmond. Oftentimes, when you have a big, extravagant original production, and that musical is revived, oftentimes they go extremely the other way. And this production is no different. It's very, very minimal. It's a transfer from the West End. Jamie Lloyd directed it in London, played there, big success for a long time. Nicole Scherzinger, who was an original member of the Pussycat Dolls, plays Norma Desmond. She is amazing. She is gorgeous. But I think what else is interesting about the production is in their effort to be minimalist, there is no set. It, for the most part, is a blank stage, all in black. The costumes are all black and white. There are no props. There is no scenery. And for my aesthetic, I love that aesthetic. Just using innovative, imaginative techniques, storytelling devices to tell stories on stage that aren't literal. I love that about theater. And what else this production does very interestingly is that it uses multimedia in a way that I'm not sure has been done before. Multimedia video use, of course, has been done on stage for a long time. But they're using live cameras with live video feeds projected on a massive screen behind the action on stage. At times, I wasn't exactly sure where to look. Maybe that's the point. The sequence in the second act, Joe Gillis, the character of Joe, starts in his dressing room. It's a live feed that you're watching on screen, and he goes out onto 44th Street live, walking down the street with all of the New Yorkers passing by. It is likely one of the shows I'll be talking about the longest. And Nicole Scherzinger is breathtaking. And the musical moments that you are there to see as if you never said goodbye is stunning. Stop the show, standing ovation in the middle of the show. She's a thrill. And the production is very, very interesting. So that's Sunset Boulevard. My favorite show that I saw on Broadway was Hadestown. I know, crazy. What? You've never seen Hadestown before. But I hadn't seen Hadestown before, playing at the Walter Kerr Theater, and I loved it. I'm going to say it renewed my faith in theater. It's so interesting, and what I find interesting, it is a small theater for a Broadway theater. It is a small cast of 12 people. Jordan Fisher is playing Orpheus, and I can't imagine a better performance in Hadestown. I was so moved. Seeing Stephanie Mills, a Broadway legend, she originated the role of Dorothy in The Wiz in the 70s. She's currently playing the role of Hermes. That was amazing to be able to see her take on that role, and gosh dang it, it was just so great. Right, obviously, you're all saying, obviously, we know it's great, but if you haven't seen Hadestown and you are going to New York City, go see it. I thought about seeing it again, like 2 nights later after we saw it the first time. The music, Anais Mitchell did the music, it's thrilling, and there are just some really creative and imaginative storytelling devices that are being deployed that are what theater is about. It's why theater is exciting and exhilarating. And so those are the 4 shows that I saw on Broadway this past week. Again, we was in town with George Harder. He was on one of his Broadway theater trips. And if you're interested in going to Broadway with George, actually MTH is doing a trip with George next fall, October of 2025. There'll be more information about that coming soon. We'd love for you to come to Broadway with us and see some Broadway shows.